Now streaming, the Netflix and Swill podcast. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Netflix and Swill podcast, your source for Netflix news, reviews, and booze. I'm Caleb.
And I'm casting cards from Exile.
And I'm...
Venturing
turn me off, Johnny.
Into the dungeon? I guess? How are you doing?
I'm fine. I'm, still recovering nicely from my... wisdom tooth extraction. I still have some big empty holes in my mouth, and I have to take a syringe and blast water up in there every time I eat something.
Wait,
and it's,
really?
Real gross, yeah.
I don't remember having to do that at all.
Well, I don't know, my, it just helps them not, get infected, I guess. It keeps the sockets clear of debris.
I mean, Debris is the worst.
How are you?
I'm okay. Okay, so Ashley was concerned for me this weekend for a very specific reason. That reason being, I went to bed at 8 o'clock on Friday and slept until about 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. So, yeah, I got some good sleep, and she was very confused because I never go to sleep that early and I never sleep that late, so...
Must be fucking nice.
It was very nice. I don't have a job that requires me to work on a Saturday. It's fantastic.
I don't know. My mother and my aunt came to visit, so I don't know. I put on what the fuck, 63, 64 hours this week. So I was pretty tired and just still dealing with a little bit of residual tooth pains. I just kind of had a headache and was tired. But we went to the Botanical Gardens, and we were walking through there. And that was really cool. And then we went to a place in just outside Columbus called Otherworld, which is sort of an interactive art installation / fun house. I don't know how to describe it. It's fucking crazy, but they got all these different artists to build these impossible scenery things, and there's puzzles and things to discover and secret passages and shit. And it was fucking really cool, and I can't wait to go back without my mother and my aunt there so that I can actually go and do the puzzles and figure out the thing.
Oh, actually enjoy yourself?
It's not that I didn't enjoy myself. It was just, I don't know, I had to kind of do the family thing. But yeah, it's cool though. If you're ever in Columbus, I would definitely recommend it.
Okay. Well, that's neat.
I don't know. I've never done acid, but I feel like if I was the kind of person who did acid, that's where I would hang out.
Oh, okay. Sure. Whatever you say, boss.
That's all.
Okay.
It's a cool place.
Well, dope. I have nothing else to add to this, only to say yowza, bowza, wowza, schmowza. And with that, let's move into What's Your Swill?
Can we please get some alcohol into my mouth?
He hates these cans! Stay away from the can!
I'm having a Modelo. What are you having?
I am having Lagunitas, or as John, formerly of Now in Technicolor, would say, a Laguintas. I had to remind Ashley of that story, but every time I have a Lagunitas, I remember John pronouncing it as Laguintas. Everyone on the call being like, "What the fuck is that?" And then eventually realizing, "Oh, he means Lagunitas." Okay.
I miss John.
There were some good things to Podfix. He was one of them.
Well, all right. Let's move into some Netflix news.
Oh, shit, it's mail time.
So, Dan, Scott Stuber, Netflix's head of global films, had a lot to say in a Variety piece. I fucking hate you for writing this. First up, there's Wayfarer's Bauble. Netflix has sequels in the works for Extraction, The Old Guard, and most surprisingly of all, Bright. That is a name I have not heard in many years.
What's the Star Wars quote? I can't. Whatever the Star Wars quote is, that's how I feel right now.
Do you know Bright? Know him? Of course I know him. He's me.
I am him.
Left off from that list is the number 4 most viewed movie, Six Underground. We didn't feel like we got there on that one creatively. Yeah, no shit. It was a nice hit, but at the end of the day, we didn't feel like we nailed the mark to justify coming back again. There just wasn't that deep love for those characters or that world.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
That was Scott Stuber saying that quote. Yeah, like, I watched that movie out of, like, pure spite after about 20 minutes. So...
Fucking magnets. How do they work?
I mean, it was a cool scene. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't enjoy my time with it. It wasn't a movie I ever wanted to get back to, and thank God we never have to go back to it. All right, let's talk about Bright for a minute. What the fuck? Where has this been? It's been almost 4 years, and this is the first we're hearing about it.
It's been a really long time.
Okay. They also said in the article that they're getting back Will Smith and Joel Edgerton. It's like, how? Do they really want to do that?
Like, I don't know. What the fuck else is Will Smith doing?
He actually has another Netflix project coming up. I mean, after he basically got cucked on live YouTube, which if you haven't seen this video, you need to see this video. Basically, it's him sitting down with his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, and her regaling us and Will Smith of the tale of her cheating on Will Smith.
Yeah. It's a doozy.
So other than getting cucked out of his lone life, this and some other project are what he's doing.
I'm not going to stand here and watch myself get cucked by Michael Bolton.
Oh, man. So yeah, a sequel to be on the lookout. I mean, I felt like The Old Guard and Extraction made a lot of sense. They're both in that top 10 list of most watched things. I mean, Extraction's number 1. Let me find it, because I tweeted it out here in a minute here. I don't remember where I tweeted it, though. Here we go. It went Extraction, Bird Box, Spencer Confidential, Six Underground, Murder Mystery, The Old Guard, Enola Holmes, Project Power and Army of the Dead tied for 8, 9, and then Fatherhood. So, yeah. A couple other things that came out of the story that I did not write down. One, Netflix is talking to Christopher Nolan to get one of his new movies to Netflix, because there's been the falling out with WB. That will happen when Hell freezes over. And 2, we now have a general metric for how Netflix views successful movies. They have said that if a $200 million budget movie should garner at least 70 million views in order to be considered a successful financial investment.
Interesting.
Which goes back to Six Underground. I think that cost 150 million and hit 83 million. So I mean, I understand that, you know, creatively you don't think it got there, but it still hit.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it made them a profit, but
so I wonder if that's a linear scale. Like, if they spend $100 million on a movie, does that mean it needs 35 million views in order to be considered successful? I wouldn't think so.
Wish I had $100 million so I could consider myself successful.
All right. Our next story is probably the most pressing one, and it's that Netflix is implementing a new policy for mandatory vaccinations for actors and those who come in close contact with them. An example is Bridgerton. It's been shut down. Its production has been shut down twice now since they began filming season 2, which I'm sure is, forcing this along. And now this makes Netflix the first and only Hollywood studio to enforce any kind of mandatory vaccination policy. So let's find out who the anti-vaxxers are among some actors, baby.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty comfortable saying that, like, if you have had the opportunity to get vaccinated by now and you have not, you're a bad person. So stop listening to this show.
Sure.
So,
one of my coworkers actually got COVID and was out for like a month, and she couldn't be vaccinated like as it was coming out because she still had the antibodies in her system. She had to wait for them to dissipate. I think she could get it in like June or like recently. I think she's gotten it recently. So like that's what I know. And one other coworker I know doesn't want to get the vaccine, or at least didn't want to get the vaccine. I believe she's vaccinated now because there wasn't enough research regarding pregnancy in like your 40s and the effects of the vaccine on that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like there's valid concerns for sure, and like there's people that can't get it for a medical reason, but like if
you're a general
it's because person. Like, oh, I heard on Fox News that fucking whatever celebrity, Jenny McCarthy said it gives me autism. I don't know. Then you're just what the fuck are you really doing here?
Yeah. I don't know. So yeah.
And by here I mean as a part of this species.
Well, that's true. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see what happens here, and like who is gonna leave Netflix shows now that they're forced to get vaccines, because it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and somebody's gonna really raise hell about it and talk about how persecuted they are and make people feel bad for them.
No one feels bad for them. They're monsters. So that'll move us over into Downstream, where we talk about the latest trailers for things that are coming to Netflix.
Baby, I can't control the internet.
That's my favorite line!
First up, there's Postmortem. Liv Halligen. That's kind of funny. Her name is Liv or Live, maybe? Because she's found dead in Scarn. But all of a sudden, she wakes up on the autopsy table and the questions begin. No one really dies in Scarn, do they? Postmortem. No one dies in Scarn. Launches August 25th. Dan, no one dies in Scarn.
No one's ever
she's
really
back from
gone.
the dead and she has a newfound thirst for blood. Meanwhile, her family's funeral parlor desperately needs more business. What if?
Hey, remember Santa Clarita Diet?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when this was Swedish Santa Clarita Diet?
Yeah, basically. I don't know. It looks okay. She's a ghoul.
Yeah, it looks fine. But I don't know who else made the comparison. I'm sure there are people complaining online that Santa Clarita Diet is canceled and this show is getting a season.
I don't know. Just let people keep making their shitty zombie series. It's fine to ignore them.
That's true. I mean, why would you support a show that you don't know if it's going to have like 18
Boobs.
Seasons immediately?
That's true. Speaking of having 18 seasons, our next trailer is for Cooking with Paris. Paris Hilton can cook, kind of. Check your smoke detector and get ready. Cooking with Paris comes to Netflix August 4th. With an anyone-can-cook attitude, Paris Hilton adds her own flair to every dish. Fun is just one edible glitter bomb away on this unique cooking show.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I put this in here to make you mad.
To fuck with me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's I don't know. It looks like any other reality TV show with a celebrity who's famous for having money.
That's true. I don't know. It looks like she's a bad cook. It looks like it could be funny.
I don't know. She has like a diamond encrusted spatula, and she's complaining that she burned the diamonds off her spatula. So I don't know. Rich person out of touch with real life. More at 11. I can't wait for the next Paris Hilton series, Governing the United States with Paris Hilton.
I'd be down for that. I mean, it can't be worse than the last reality series we had regarding the Oval Office.
This summer, Mitch McConnell is The Apprentice. I'm pretty happy with how little I've heard about Mitch McConnell over the last few months.
It's true. Because fuck that guy.
All right. Next up is a trailer for Al Rawabi School for Girls. At the prestigious Al Rawabi School for Girls, the outcasts are the ones with the daring plans to take down the bullies. Al Rawabi School for Girls streaming 12th of August only on Netflix. The bully outcasts at prestigious Al Rawabi School for Girls plot a series of risky takedowns to get back at their tormentors.
There was a teaser out for this last week that looked way more interesting than this trailer makes this series look.
Nah.
So, if this sounds mildly interesting to you, don't watch this trailer. Go watch the teaser that came out last week.
I don't know. This looks alright. It's like, getting back at the mean girls.
Yeah. Pretty much. Pretty much exactly that.
Alright. Next up is the trailer for Vivo. A one-of-a-kind kinkajou, voiced by Lin-Manuel Miranda. A kinkajou is a type of New World monkey. Embarks on an unforgettable musical adventure to deliver a love song to Marta, voiced by Gloria Estefan, on behalf of his owner, Andre, Buena Vista Social Club's Juan DeMarcos. This is an animated film about a music-loving kinkajou on the journey of a lifetime to fulfill his destiny and deliver a love song for an old friend. Dan, what do you think about the idea of Lin-Manuel Miranda continuing to have a career?
I mean, I don't have an opinion one way or the other. I legitimately do not care. I've never seen Hamilton. The only thing I've experienced Lin-Manuel Miranda-wise is Moana, and that's it. And I'm not trying to stay willfully ignorant of Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's just that he doesn't make things that seem interesting to me. So, good job, this, for keeping up that streak.
I don't know, this looks fine.
Yeah, it looks like an animated kids thing that is gonna... I think it even spoiled in the fucking trailer. Fucking his owner dies. Because he lays like a white flower on like a park bench next to a picture of the guy.
Yeah, and then he leaves to torment this woman with the knowledge that she'll never be able to enjoy on Earth what this love that, you know, she could have had and missed out on.
Yeah. Whatever. It's definitely a thing.
Yeah, it looks fine. Well, finally, we get to a trailer for a limited series called Brand New Cherry Flavor. This isn't your average revenge flick. A filmmaker heads to Hollywood in the early 90s to make her movie, but tumbles down a hallucinatory rabbit hole of sex, magic, revenge, and kittens? Brand New Cherry Flavor, a new limited series starring Rosa Salazar, Catherine Keener, Eric Lang, Jeff Ward, and Manny Jacinto, premieres August 13th.
Mm-hmm. This is definitely the most interesting one of the bunch,
It looks interesting.
but will it be good? I don't know. It looks like a fucking fever dream that somebody had. And,
Yeah.
for a limited series, that's kind of what you want sometimes.
Yeah.
What did you think?
I don't know. I have nothing further to add.
Okay.
I don't know. It looks pretty wild.
Dope. All right. That'll move us into quick hits, I guess, where we'll talk about some other shit we watched this week.
All right. Well, I watched Raya and the Last Dragon on Blu-ray. I just wanted to mention it. That movie was decent.
Why did you have it on Blu-ray?
I don't know. I just wanted to do something with Vanessa, and she was like, "Maybe we can get a movie." And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And we liked Moana and we liked Coco, so we took a leap of faith and just purchased it
Okay.
because we don't have Disney Plus.
It was always allowed. But you're missing out on every Marvel show.
Good. Yeah, I don't know. It's a fine little movie. I won't talk about it too much, but I liked it less than Moana and Coco, but I did like it. So
funny enough, Ashley also watched that this weekend.
yeah, she like it.
I'd have to go in her letterbox to see what she says about it. But the thing, because I was there for the end of the movie. And the end of the movie happens, and she had to pause for some reason. I think the dogs needed fed. And she pauses, and she's like, holy fuck, there's 20 minutes left. And I'm like, I looked at it, I'm like, I don't even know what's happening. But I can tell you, they had the magical shot of them running together. Like, oh my god, we finally fucking did it. We did the thing. And they're like, yay, we did the thing, everybody. And then it looks like it's wrapping up, and it's like, how the fuck is there 20 minutes left of this movie? There is 20 minutes of credits.
Yeah, that's true.
That is a 90-minute movie that has 20 minutes of credits. On Disney Plus, it's listed as an hour and 53 minutes. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't get it. Don't know. I don't know. The other thing I watched was I introduced my mother and aunt to Nailed It.
Oh, okay.
Which they thought was pretty funny, but they thought that Nicole Byers was annoying, so they didn't want to watch it for a long time. Yeah, fine. I'll just say it. I think Nicole Byers is kind of cute. There.
That was always allowed. Okay. Well, as for me, I watched Under Siege, starring everyone's least favorite Aikido master, Steven Seagal, back when he was skinny. So, what did I think as someone watching a 1992 movie in 2021? That was fine. It's a fine movie. Nothing great.
Yeah, the movie's fine.
Like, Seagal's kind of like low-key hilarious in that movie. Just like with his delivery, like the way, just delivering. I'm just a cook.
Yeah,
I'm just a lowly cook. And then you got the woman dancing out of the not even a cake thing.
Yeah,
her boobs flopping all about. It's great.
It's Playboy playmate Erica Eleniak.
I've gotten to the point where I start facetiously like clapping anytime there's nudity on screen in a movie. I'm just like, yay! It's just like, okay.
Thank you, tits.
Come slam your penis in the door of your own luxury sedan.
I can make that happen for you.
Yeah, like Tommy Lee Jones is over the top and hilarious. I mean, it's Tommy Lee Jones versus Gary Busey into who can be more over the top. And it is quite the fucking arms race to watch.
Yeah. Oh, I love Tommy Lee Jones in that movie. I love Gary Busey in that movie too.
So, it's a movie. They had SEAL Team 5 on that. They didn't have SEAL Team Rix, which made me upset. I didn't care. It just happened. So yeah. if you want like what, I think it's like 100 minutes. I think it's the perfect amount of time for that movie. Doesn't overstay its welcome. Speaking of overstaying its welcome, I'll now talk about Blood Red Sky. The general gist of the movie is that some hijackers take over an airplane for some reason. We don't know the reason. Like they are projected to be like terrorists, but they're not. They're taking it over for like people who are on the ground. Like some like it's kind of like Money Plane, but told from the other perspective. And also, the protagonist is a fucking vampire. It's a 90-minute premise that goes on for 2 hours.
Oof.
And it doesn't start you in a great way either, because it does the, fade to black 12 hours earlier thing. And it's like, just start from the beginning. Like, if you started from the beginning of this woman, hanging out in a blacked out hotel room, and then you told her story that way, I would have gotten more on board with it, but no. And then, like, the vampire effects are fine, but, like, it's just so drawn out, and it's so boring. Like, it's just so uninteresting, everything that fucking happens. I was so checked out by the time, like, the main crazy bad guy gets bitten by our protagonist, and she can't kill him in time. So he turns into a vampire. And then he starts infecting everybody else by turning them into vampires. And that's just a plane of vampires with like a couple people who are not vampires. It sucks. And then the ending's also fucking terrible. The ending's just so fucking bad. So, one, I hate this movie. Don't watch it.
I won't.
And then I watched the first Mobile Suit Gundam movie. This is entirely in Japanese, and I think that's part of the reason I'm not super into it. It's like, I watched all of Mobile Suit Gundam Origins in English. The dubbing in Japanese isn't even good, because like it does that thing in like that we make fun of Japanese things for, where it's like their mouths move, but then like there's nothing, they're not saying anything. And maybe I'm the only psychopath that notices that, but like it was distracting and bad. Like it's like they didn't even try to put care into it or something. I don't know. Also, like I think it's an abridged version of the series, so like there's some editing things that don't make sense. Like characters are just like doing random shit for some reason. Like at one point, they land on Earth and they're like, oh, okay, we're gonna go have a beach day. And it's like, you guys were just in like a full-scale battle where you killed like one of the main enemy's commanders, like, and you're gonna go have a fucking beach day afterwards. Okay, cool. It just like it jumps around all over the place. It makes sense for the most part, but then like you're like, how did we end up here?
Oh my god, how did we get there?
Just stay away from that coffee machine. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the other two because I'm invested, but this makes me want to do is watch the series instead.
Well, all right.
And that's it. That's all I watched this week.
Well, on that note.
She turned me into a newt.
I can't really pronounce words at all. On that note, why don't we cut into a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about our featured review for Masters of the Universe Revelation. The Netflix and Swill podcast is brought to you by our patrons, Gerald Morris, Bill Sutton, Nick Haskins, Ashley the Bubby Gorski, Ben Kiefer, Paul Prezula, Daniel Henderson, Julio Oliveira, Jimmy Della Rosa, Chris Yaney, Brianna Petty, Nate Wade, Alan Gallerisi, Duty Dutram, Casey Moore, The Nerd Revert, and Dan's mom. If you would like to become a patron of the show, find us at netflixandswill.com/Patreon. Buy some shit. Visit netflixandswill.com/merch. Leave a review and tell me how good I'm getting at public speaking. Visit netflixandswill.com/Apple Podcasts. Thanks for letting us live our dreams of being professional idiots. We now return you to your regularly scheduled banter.
Welcome back, everybody. Caleb, it's time to get in our main review topic for the week. What the fuck is it called? Oh my god, I'm so bad at this. Masters of the Universe Revelations. Or Revelation. The Book of Revelations.
Masters of the Universe Revelation is a new animated series from Netflix. This is a 4.9 out of 10 on IMDb. The war for Eternia begins again in what may be the final battle between He-Man and Skeletor, a new animated series from writer-director Kevin Smith, who assures us that, Clerks 3 is coming.
Mm-hmm.
Says, Chris Wood as He-Man, Lena Headey as Evil Lynn, Tiffany Smith as Andra, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Teela, Mark Hamill as Skeletor, Diedrich Bader as Trapjaw, Justin Long as Roboto.
Yep.
For some fucking reason. Henry Rollins as Triclops. I don't know. Kind of a big voice cast. I really like Mark Hamill as Skeletor. That's what sold me on this show.
Oh, yeah.
So, what did you think of the new chapter in the Masters of the Universe saga?
So, first and foremost, I want to say, the reason why it's a, 4.7 on IMDb?
4.9.
4.9. It was getting review bombed for one reason and one reason only. Because everyone thought it would be a He-Man show, and then it turned out to be a Teela show.
Because people are threatened by a strong female lead.
Probably. I have no strong feeling about Teela one way or the other. I think the first 2 episodes are a bit of a mess. Because, I said it on Twitter, the pilot, like the first episode, feels like the season finale to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, or like a series finale, and then like we pick up Revelations with, fucking a Revelation with Teela being the main character. And I'm like, okay, I wish I had any frame of reference for what the fuck was going on, because just like a bunch of shit's happening, and I have like no context because it's been forever since I've seen He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. And then a time skip happens, and then all of a sudden, Teela's with somebody who I have no idea who they are, and I'm just so confused. So like the first 2 episodes kind of sucked, but then from there I was like, okay, yeah, this is a whatever show.
Yeah, I feel pretty similar. Based on the trailer, I was expecting this to be a lot more action-packed, but it does kind of a lot of character work and stuff instead. It's all good. I liked all of it. It just didn't really match up to my expectations. And, because of reasons, He-Man isn't the main focus for most of it.
Yeah.
But it kind of dives more into, like, the history of Eternia and why is that the way it is. And, we get, no pun intended, revelations about who all these people are and why He-Man has the power.
Mm. And, I kind of barely remember the 80s cartoon. The cartoon that was designed to sell you people toys. And it was just like the same shit. It was like Power Rangers. It was the same shit every week. Skeletor has a plan to take Castle Grayskull. He-Man fights and defeats Skeletor but doesn't kill him. And then Skeletor comes back next week with more diabolical plans of new toys that you can buy.
The skull helicopter thing, which I'm pretty sure is a real toy.
Where was that? I wanted that in the show. So,
yeah.
I think a lot of people just didn't give this a fair shot based off of, the events of the first 2 episodes. And don't get me wrong, I don't think they're well structured, but I don't fucking care that Teela's the main character. Like, honestly, you should probably reevaluate your priorities if you, because like, note, it doesn't say He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Revelation. It says Masters of the Universe Revelation. Like, it's not It's
Mhm.
not focusing that character you're so into from your childhood that you thought was cool because he had rippling muscles and you could be like him one day. You thought, looking back as you're like 45 and like 900 pounds.
Ouch. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a problem with that at all. I don't care that He-Man wasn't the sole focus of it. Yeah, I thought it was entertaining. The animation's good. I really liked a lot of the voice cast. I don't know. Man-at-Arms and Orko are kind of my two go-tos from like the Masters of the Universe thing, and they're both pretty good in this.
Mm. Yeah, it gives depth to characters that, didn't have depth in the first place.
There's emotional moments involving Cringer, whose literal like purpose in the story is to be a fraidy cat.
Until he gets imbued with the power and then becomes a fucking battle cat. Like a badass.
Battle Cat's awesome.
So, I don't know.
I don't know how much more we can talk about this without just getting right into it.
Yeah. So, with that, what would you give the show?
I'd give it a 3.5.
Yeah, I'm going a flat 3. For all the reasons I said before. Mainly because I'm threatened by women.
I don't know. Definitely high marks for the animation, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's Powerhouse. I've come to expect it at this point. When they make a bad animation show, I'll let you guys know.
Let me just play the ending for you.
No, I don't want to see how it ends.
Okay, I could describe it. Imagine you're in a room.
No, I don't want to know how it ends. I haven't seen the beginning.
Yeah, but the ending is awesome. So if I could just
Son
play
of a bitch, this is what you always do. You always spoil stuff for me.
No, I don't. And if I could just play the ending for you real quick, then we'll discuss that.
Motherfucker, you always spoil everything before I get a chance to see it.
Okay, you sound like a crazy person right now.
All right. So spoilers. If you're still listening, you either don't care or you have watched it, because it's 5 half-hour episodes. You have the time. So He-Man and Skeletor die in the first episode.
It's true. And I waited until after like all the hubbub died down to finally watch it, and I went, okay, that makes sense why they died. Like, and it's interesting to see that the show instead wants to tackle what happens when there's this power vacuum, because you have He-Man and Skeletor who've been fighting for ever, it seems, and then the magic of Eternia also disappears as well with them.
Right, because the whole thing is that, Eternia is the center of the multiverse, and like as Eternia goes, so the universe goes. So like the magic of Grayskull sustains Eternia. So if that goes away, then like the universe is doomed. So then what happens? So Skeletor, rather than trying to defeat He-Man and take the power of Grayskull for himself, finally finds out that like, the castle's just like a shell hiding the real power is like beneath the castle. So like he opens up this like spiral stairway that leads to like a lush grove beneath the castle. And then like He-Man attacks him and fucking impales Skeletor on his sword, like impaling him onto this like obelisk in the middle of the room. But it turns out that the sword went straight through Skeletor and into this obelisk because the sword is a key to open it up. And it just like lets loose the pure concentrated magic of Eternia. Which, like, to have the universe not rip itself apart, He-Man absorbs it into the Sword of Power, which splits into 2 pretty cool swords.
Oh, yeah.
And then the blast, like, fucking vaporizes He-Man and Skeletor, and the swords disappear. And then fade to black. 6 years later.
Yeah, do we know how much time actually passed?
I thought it was 6 years for some reason.
Yeah, because like you know, Tila has her whole thing where they're in the court and they're like, He-Man died, and then fucking Dietrich Bader's like, yo, I wish my son could see what a true hero was like, and it's like, but He-Man was your son, and then it's like dun dun dun, and then Tila throws a fit, kinda, by being like, hey, I don't like that you guys lied to me, so fuck all of you, and then walks away. I was just like confused by that because I don't know. I don't feel like they built to that point. It was just like, oh, that happened, and now it's the point of the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I liked that well enough as the setup, because then like the whole thing becomes like, with that power vacuum, and then like magic leaving Eternia for the most part, like the sorceress can't sustain Grayskull for forever, like her power is fading, and like Evelyn isn't strong enough to take Skeletor's place as like the big bad because her magic is weakening. So Triclops of all people becomes the new the new father of machines, and is fucking completing people into abominations,
and you
turning them into.
You were just so
and
happy.
I got a boner because it's like, hey, it's like this thing from Magic the Gathering that I told Dan about, and he listened intently.
Yeah, it was like, oh look, it's Yawgmoth. Everybody, we have Yawgmoth Transposition here.
So yeah, like I don't know, there's the whole conflict of like technology versus magic, which like I don't know. Whenever the trailer for this came out, like that's kind of the aesthetic about the Masters of the Universe that I think is really cool, because it's like this post-apocalyptic world where like magic and technology are like competing forces, and I like that. It's cool.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, like technology is like technically a form of magic, and I think it's been experimented with as a theme in other productions, but like what was because imagine like going back in time and being like, hey, caveman, look at this fucking light bulb I have that, you know, lights things. And they're like, look, magic. And you're like, no. Science.
Well, any sufficiently advanced technology is indistinguishable from magic.
Yeah. Then so yeah, we get our time skip, and then Tila shows up with somebody who I don't know who they are. And they never really do a good job explaining who Andra is, and then has a new haircut, which I was just like, okay, that's fine. She can have a new haircut. I don't give a shit. So, do like, what was the last time you watched Masters of the Universe, and who the fuck is Andra?
I think she's just a new character.
I mean, then I want to know who she is. Like, I want her to actually have a character. You know?
Yeah, I don't know. Just random sidekick.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, whatever. It's whatever, but like also bad writing. Like, I don't know. I feel like if they start talking about who she is in the second part, it's not good writing, because like there should have just been an episode where it's about them teaming up. Like Tila storming off, teaming up with Andra, and then, you know, showing up with a new haircut the following episode. I mean, I didn't find with that if this was a 6-episode part 1.
Yeah. I don't know. I wish that I could get in a fight with my parents and then show up a bit later with a cool undercut.
Yeah, right? And then your dad looks like a hobo now.
What else? Like the main arc of the show, I guess, the main narrative thrust is like they have to go to heaven and hell to get the two halves of the Sword of Power and reforge the Sword of Power so that they can bring back magic to Grayskull and save the world. And in the end, like, they end up going to heaven, and it's, it's paradise. It's pretty cool. And they actually meet Prince Adam there because he's there with all the other champions from throughout Eternia's history. And he decides to come back to the mortal world, forsaking the paradise afterlife, and fulfill his destiny on Eternia. So He-Man's back. Because, of course he is.
Right. Why wouldn't he be back? He's the main character that we haven't seen in 5 episodes.
Yeah. And then of course, because why wouldn't he be? Skeletor's back also. And as He-Man is fixing the thing and bringing back the power, Skeletor manifests out of Evelyn's staff where he's been hiding, and fucking impales him through the kidney with a spear.
Yeah!
It's like, he fucking takes the sword of power and proclaims himself to have the power. So yeah, the series ends with Prince Adam bleeding on the ground and Skeletor claiming the power of Grayskull for his own, finally.
Yeah, it's
after all these years.
It's finally happened. And I was like, oh, that's cool. Where's this going to go?
Yeah.
And then there were no more episodes, so I was like, oh, that's sad. Oh, well.
That's what it is.
So, I mean, it's a part 1. I believe part 2 is also considered part of the first season, and we have a first season confirmed for this show, so there's at least that. Hooray.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll definitely watch more of this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to watch more of it. I make you watch shit that you hate on a weekly basis anyway, so.
Yeah, it's true.
So, is there anything else you want to talk about with regards to Masters of the Universe Revelation?
I think I'm good.
Okay. I have nothing else to say as well. So, with that, let's cut into another quick break. And when we come back from that break, we will be here to talk about a patron-requested review for Hold the Dark.
Hello, everyone. This is JD from the In Session Film Podcast. Each week, we review
the latest from Hollywood, California.
Well, yes, Brendan. We also
give top 3 lists.
Okay, yeah. Thanks again, Brendan. Additionally, you can hear us
talk other movie news, trailers, varying movie series, or other interesting film-related topics, and even rants and raves of the week.
On top of our main show, every Friday,
you can also hear our extra film podcasts.
You can listen to the In Session Film Podcast on
iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, or at InSessionFilm.com. Listen to the In Session Film Podcast every Monday and Friday. Subscribe today and hear me verbally beat JD like a Cherokee drum.
No. That's not how this works, sir.
Welcome back, everybody. Caleb, it's time to get into a patron requested review for Hold the Dark. Well, fine, if you don't want my money.
You mean, if we watch terrible movies, you'd give us money?
Well, sure.
Mr. Caleb, welcome to the patron review segment.
Hold the Dark is a 2018 action drama thriller movie. It's a 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. After the death of 3 children suspected to be killed by wolves, writer Russell Core is hired by the mother of a missing 6-year-old boy to track down and locate her son in the Alaskan wilderness. This is directed by Jeremy Saulnier. And stars Jeffrey Wright, Alexander Skarsgård, and James Badge Dale. Dan, what did you think of Hold the Dark?
So, bit of context, we actually originally reviewed this back in when it came out in 2018. However, you died that episode. So I got Sean Ennis to come on. We talked about it, and we never heard your thoughts. So this is your redemption, Caleb. You can finally talk about this movie. As for what I think, I'm less positive on it now than I was back then. I thought this was a pretty good movie back then. Now I think it's just fine. It's like weird and obtuse and out there, and I'm sure there's people who are smarter than me that really appreciate this movie, but I just went in being like, huh, so this is what you went with. Okay. And then, Walked out being like, whatever. What did you think?
I think it kind of sucks.
Okay.
Like, for those reasons, it's just... shit's just happening. It's just... I don't know. Everything sucks. Like, why is this the way it is? And why is this nature writer the person you hire to help the police track down this kid?
I don't get that part. I don't get anything really. Like the general behavior of these two human beings. Because eventually we find out they're, I don't know what. Like we find out the kid gets killed by his mom, and then fucking whatever Skarsgård comes home and he's like, "Oh, my kid died. Okay, I'm gonna go find the mom." And then, spoilers for the end of the movie. He doesn't fucking kill the mom like we thought. They just fucking run off together and nothing happens.
Yeah.
Although, every police officer in the in this area of Alaska is now dead.
Yeah, it's true. Why were there like 30 local cops?
I know,
in
right?
This town that has like 8 houses.
I don't get it. So let me ask you something. Did you pick up the fact that Riley Keough and the Skarsgård are actually brother and sister?
No.
Because that is 100% true. They are brother and sister. Because this is based on a book, and in the book, they are brother and sister.
Okay.
So their child is a product of incest. So
why does the mom strangle the kid?
It's, from how I understand it, it's supposed to be like symbolic of like their relationship to the wolves, because like we see her wearing a wolf mask, we see Skarsgård wearing a wolf mask, and they're supposed to represent like wolves for some reason. Why, I don't know. But so she like kills him because, as we see earlier in the movie, the wolves eating their young to survive. It's kind of like that thing where it's like, I guess because they live in a dirt poor town, they they kill like she kills her kid in order to survive herself, and it's like, okay, whatever.
But I just don't get why she actually did kill the kid.
I don't either. I don't get why she killed the kid and then wrote a letter to a man to say a wolf killed my kid.
Yeah.
Like it's like Knives Out, but worse. Because like the whole thing is set in motion by Ransom writing the letter to oh god, what's his name? I almost said Guy Villemont, which is like the fucking CEO of Ubisoft, and that's not him. Mr. LeBlanc, that's it. So like, I don't get it. I mean, you're not wrong. Everything you're saying is not wrong. But yeah, it's a fucking weirdo movie, dude.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't just me. I don't know. I think it's kind of stupid. Having a couple punchy action scenes doesn't really do anything for it. They just feel disjointed and out of place.
Yeah, because like we get that shootout scene at like the massive shootout scene, because I think the guy's like an M60, and he just starts murdering cops, and it's like, okay,
yeah,
this
just
is
for
really
no reason.
weird.
He's got just an M60 mounted in like his fucking loft.
Like, I mean, okay, like, I don't know. It's another 2-hour movie, and I don't know. I feel like without that scene, I guess like somebody was like, "Hey, you need more shit in here that is action oriented because people aren't gonna care."
I don't know. It's like the drainage scene where he beats the guy with the bowling pin from fucking There Will Be Blood. It's like the only thing there for you to like latch onto and give a shit about.
I don't know. I like Jeffrey Wright, but like they don't give him anything to do. Like it's also as much like Skarsgård's movie as it is Jeffrey Wright, and like there's no mystery is the other thing. Like it's not a thriller. Because, like, there's no mystery. Everybody knows all of the information that they need to know at any time.
Yeah.
You've made my rating worse. Congratulations. You win today.
All right. Yeah, I just don't really care about this movie.
That's fair. Jason, I hope you didn't like it too much because, you know, yikes if you did.
I'll give it a 2.
And I'm going 2.5, which might be too generous.
All right. Well, what are we doing next week, Dan?
Next week on the show, main topic, no idea. I'm going to leave it up to you. Whatever you want to do, we can do.
I don't know. I have a stupid idea.
I mean,
if you're up for it.
It's not the worst. Probably not the worst idea you've ever had.
I've noticed that they put all 3 of the Austin Powers movies on Netflix now. I just want to see if they hold up at all.
All right. That's fine. We have a Netflix original to cover it anyway, so it's okay. And speaking of that Netflix original, for our third segment, it'll be a patron requested review for Good on Paper, starring Elisa Schlesinger. I think is how you say her name. She wrote the movie. She did not direct it. So, alternate universe, her can claim only one thing.
That's true.
That comes to us from Sam Hurley of Movie Reviews and 20 Qs. I believe he said he only made it 20 minutes in.
Oh, God.
So, we'll see.
We will. Tell him stuff, Dan.
You can find our show at netflixandswill.com. It's your one-stop shop for all things Netflix and Swill. Join our Discord server. Link is in the show notes for that. Also, I probably should just promote it more actively. Buy our merch. Be a patron. $5 patrons of our show can give us a movie every quarter to watch. Although, depending on how we're doing in terms of $5 patrons, which is a good problem to have, we might have to scale that back to, once every half a year or something like that. We'll figure it out. We'll workshop it. But yeah, netflixandswill.com. It's the best place to find everything because it's a one-stop shop. That's what that means.
Is it a one-stop shop?
For all things Netflix and Swill, it is.
Cool. Thank you to Space Weather for the use of our theme song, Bitter. Which is how Jason's going to feel about us hating Hold the Dark.
We'll see.
And on that note, until next week, we will see you next Tuesday. Netflix and Swill is an independent podcast. As such, we believe in the scrappy underdogs of the podcast world. If you're an indie podcast and would like us to run your promo on our show, please contact us. The little guys need to stick together. If you enjoy what we're doing, please consider leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts and telling a friend. The more we grow, the better the show will be. Thank you for being part of the Netflix and Swill family.